Welcome to Continia Document Output webinar. My name is Thomas Droop. I'm Product Specialist at Continia Software. With me today I have Sven Birk Hansen, Developer of Document Output. Today we review the implementation and setup of Document Output. Before we get started, let's see what we have on today's menu. Today's session is based on NAV 2016 with Document Output 144. Of course, we are going through the implementation and setup, review of the product package, installation of DLL files, import of objects, walk through the Document Output page setup and setup visit, how to edit email templates and choose email recipient, and later I will give you a glimpse of some of the new features in Document Output 2.0. And as Christina told you in the introduction, we will go through the questions that come during the webinar. So let's get started. At first I will show you how to download our product package from our website www.continia.com. If you log into our partner zone, with your partner login, you can, under the menu Document Output, find the download software. Here you find the product package, and the newest version is Document Output 144. Press download and save. I've cheated a little bit and downloaded and unpacked the zip files, and here you see the product package. I will briefly go through the product package with you. The DLL files for NAV 2013 and later, which we have to work with today, and then there's the DLL files for later, earlier versions than NAV 2013. Then there's the zip library, which contains zip files for control add-ins that will be installed with the setup visit. The Continia PDF writer is only to be used in versions before NAV 2013, as the newest version has a built-in NAV PDF writer. The documentation contains the developer's guide, setup guide, user's guide, and so on. Then there's the F1 help. If you have to install this, you have to copy the XML files to the Internet Information Server. There's the objects, which we have to import into NAV. And then there's the templates, which is country specific, and today we have to use the worldwide template. Then there's some of the HTML files. The features contain which functions are compatible in which versions. The log contains what has changed between the versions, and versions contains which versions are compatible in which countries. Now I'll show you how to copy the DLL files to your service tier. If you open the DLL for NAV 2013 or later, you have to copy the Continia Document Output map to your desktop. Before I do that, I'll just show you that some of the DLL files can be blocked by Windows you have to press Properties, and you can see in the bottom that this is unblocked. This is blocked, and you have to unblock it. You have to do that with all of the DLL files before downloading. I now copy this map to the service tier under my C drive, Program Files, Microsoft Dynamics, and I have to choose the versions we're working in, and today's version is 9.0. Go to the add-in map, and I will copy the document output map into here. And we already did this. So now I would do that if you have a version that is before NAV 2016, you also have to copy the DLL files to the client. Now I'll give the word to Sven, who will tell you about import of objects.
Yes, thank you, Thomas. I'm just going to close this, and I'm going to open up the development environment. And in our current database, we put in some customer modifications, as this is typically for your partners when you're going to a customer that some changes were made before you actually put in a add-on. So here is made changes to customer card, item card, and quote and order. So now I'm going to install document output. So I'm going to File, Import. On my desktop I have my CDO 144. I'm going into Objects, finding the correct language. So this is W1. And go into 2016. And change this to FOB files. And then here under the FOB files I can see I have the version for the RTM and then also for cumulative updates 1, 4, and 7. But I'm running on the RTM version of 2016, so I'm choosing the top one. Clicking OK, and I'm getting the import worksheet. And I can see I have conflicts on my customer card and my sales quote and sales order because I made this customer modification on these objects. So I'm going to skip these so I don't overwrite my customer modifications. And of course you should check the rest of the objects that they don't give you any conflicts. And then I'm clicking OK. I'm saying OK to validate. Saying yes. And waiting for the validation. So now I imported the objects, and I can see it's created a lot of objects, replaced a lot of the pages, and it skipped 3 pages because I already had customer modifications in them. So now I can go to my role-based client. And if I go to Departments, Administration, Application Setup, I can now see my document output. Because I had the conflicts on 3 of the pages, I now also want to run the document output page setup. This is a tool to merge my actions and fact boxes into the pages that I couldn't import directly. So I'm clicking Download XML. That will download an XML containing description of where there need to be actions and fact boxes on the standard pages. After it downloaded the XML file, it will analyze the database and find out where it needs to insert actions and fact boxes. So here you can see on page 21 the customer card, it needs to insert an action. On page 41 it needs to insert an action and a fact box. And on page 42 it needs to insert an action and a fact box. And the rest of the pages is just skips, and on the ones where it's needed to insert the actions and fact boxes, it says insert. So everything is set as it should be from the beginning. So now I only need to click import and compile changes. So after I click import and compiling, it will create a text file where it merges the actions and fact boxes into your customer modification. And then it will import the text file and compile it. So now I click OK. I'll go to the development environment, do a refresh, and now on the customer card I can see already in the version list I have my customer modification, but I also have document output. So if I click design on this one and go to my actions, I can in the top here see that my email recipients, which is part of document output, this action is being merged into my customer modification. And I can also go to page 41, my quote. I can see my action, email action is also merged into the actions, and I can see my fact box, email log fact box is merged into the page as well. So this gives you a very easy way to insert all your actions and fact boxes on standard pages, even though that there's customer modifications in them already. The final thing about importing the FOB is if you need to compile the objects, then some of the objects might fail in the compiling, and that's the bullzip, BUPDF, and Continia PDF. These three code units will only compile if you have installed the printer driver for this product. So if you install bullzip, you will be able to compile it, and the same goes for BUPDF and the Continia PDF writer, which is with the program package, but should only be installed for versions before 2013. And it doesn't matter that you cannot compile these code units. They are not needed for now, 2013 and later. Okay, so I'll close the development environment, go to the RTC, and go back to Thomas.
Thank you. Now I will walk you through the setup visit, which is found under Departments, Administration, Application Setup, Document Output, and Document Output Setup Visit. At first we have to import the template which is in the product package I showed you earlier. So if I find the product package, find the templates, and choose the version which I have to use. Today it's the worldwide template. I press next, and here you can see the default engine is NAV PDF, which is the one that is in the 2013 and later versions of NAV. The statement report ID is standard 116. If you have done some customer modifications in some of the statements, you have to put in this report ID here. Otherwise, you press next, and then you have to type in the SMTP server address and from email address. Then we press next. Here I have to fill in a salesperson. As we use this Sven's user ID today, I have to type in a salesperson. But Sven is not he's not a salesperson in NAV, so I choose John Roberts in this version. So I press next. Now I have linked the salesperson to the user setup. Next I have to create job view entry create email job for email queue, download and install client add-ins. If you already have installed some of these products before, there will not be a marker in this box, but as standard there's markers in all the boxes. Then you press finish, and now it's downloading and importing the templates. To show it that it works, I go to the unhandled posted sales invoice, choose an invoice and press email opens in Outlook. Now it is opening an email in Outlook, and as you can see here, it has attached a PDF invoice to this template. If I open the PDF, you can see the invoice here. Now I'll give the word back to Sven.
Yes, thank you, Thomas. So now we imported the standard template for the different type of reports, and this is for this posted sales invoice. And the customer, of course, needs to edit these templates so they get the text they want. They need their own logo and stuff like that. So I'm going to close this, and go back to templates. And all these templates was imported during the setup wizard. So I'm going to this posted sales invoice and open the card for this. And the first thing that you might need to change on the template is the report number. Sometimes partners make new reports for the posted sales invoice, and then they need to change the report number here. And also it needs the first table number in that report. And in the sales invoice, it's sales invoice header. And it needs the table number so it can filter on that table when it runs the report to create the PDF. The to email link field, in this case, is the bill to customer number. It can also be bill to contact number, but it's the field how it should find the email address. The to email link field type is where you can choose between finding the customer email address from the customer card, or find it from a new table in Document Output called email recipients. Then we have the file name, a document group, a fixed CC recipient and a fixed BC recipients. The two fixed recipients can be used for an internal email address, so you get a copy of the email when it's sent. Then we are going through the background PDF file name. The background is a PDF that you can have as a letterhead for the document that's created. So I'm going to my desktop and I have here a Kronos letterhead. I'm just going to open it. And you see it's a letterhead where we have a logo in the top and some text in the bottom. So I'm choosing that. I'm also going to show you that you can set a merge PDF file. The merge PDF file will merge after the PDF that's created. So I'm going to open the sales and delivery terms, and it also contains the logo, and then this is a sales and delivery term for Continia Document Output. So I'm choosing that as well. Then I can attach open documents. Attaching open documents is only for a statement, reminder, and finance charge memos, but they will attach the open documents in a zip file. And then if you click the open documents, you also have to put in a document file name. Use document output in standard Navision actions. If you choose yes here, it will replace the functions on the email buttons in the standard pages, so it will use document output. That's pretty much the basic setup. If I click this, so you don't see all the extra fields. And then in the bottom I have merge fields, also imported with a template. In the merge fields I can create my own merge fields if I need some information to merge into my template. And I can get that from the table, the first table in the report, which in this case is sales invoice header. So I can create new lines and put in the field I want the information from. And then I can get information from the salesperson table. It will find the salesperson through the user setup, where Thomas showed you in the setup wizard that you link them together. And you can find information through a code unit. If you use a code unit, you need to specify a code unit ID and also a parameter for that code unit. And then you can have a programmer to find any value in NAV. Company name or setup tables is where you can find any information from all the setup tables in Navision. Here it's company information. And setup table is just a table where there's one record. Then you can use any setup table. Link to email address is a way to format the text, and also hyperlink, you can format it as a hyperlink. So after we got through the technical stuff of the template, and sometimes you need to change some of it, I'm going to show you how to edit the actual email template. So I click on the button Edit Email Template, and in the BCC I can see all my merge fields, so I can see the percentage and the number that I can use in my text. So I can change all the text down here, I can format it and so on. In this case I'm just going to change my logo. So I'm going to insert a picture and choosing the Continia logo. Then, as it says up here, this is a template, do not send it, close the email when finished. So I'm closing it and saving it. Then in a couple of seconds it will tell me that it's now saved in Navision, like this. So I'm going to go back to this, and then I'm going to find onHandle, posted sales invoice, and then just open it in Outlook, just to see how it looks. And as you can see, I changed the logo in the template, and if I open the invoice, I can see that it put in my background letterhead, the Kronos logo, and the text in the bottom, and it merged in the file with my sales and delivery terms. I think that's pretty much it for editing templates. So now I'll go through how to change the email address it should be sent to. So I'm going back to my template, and as I showed you before, up here I can choose between the customer email address from the customer card, or I can choose to use it from an email recipient table in document output. So I'm clicking OK to this, going back to my unhandled. On the unhandled page you can see that it finds the email recipients from my customer card. So if I click refresh, it will now empty them all because it now searches for email address in the email recipients. I just changed that on the template. So now I'm opening the customer card, and for the Canon Group customer I'm going to email recipients, and this is where I have a more flexible setup of email addresses. So here I can choose a document group like bookkeeping, and saying I'm going to send them through an email address called bookkeeper@mycustomer.com. And then just to show you a typical setup, I'm going to create one for sales as well, and sales at mycustomer.com. customer.com. So when I create these two for bookkeeping and sales, I can go back to my templates and sort it by document group. I can see that my bookkeeping document group is documents like invoice, statement, reminders, and so on. And my sales documents is like order, sales quote, and stuff like that sent to the sales department at my customer. So that's how I can do a more flexible setup of the different groups of recipients. Over here, just to show you, you can also have for individual email templates or for all email templates. So if I go back to the unhandled and click refresh, I can now see that my sales invoice is sent to bookkeeper at mycustomer.com because I set that up on the email recipients. And the last thing about recipients I'm going to show is on the template, the sales invoice. And then if I'm showing more fields, there's also a field called test recipient. So if I go in and say this is a test at mycompany.com, I'm clicking OK. Going back to the unhandled, clicking refresh, I can now see that all my email recipients is to my test recipient. So this can of course only be used in a test environment / purpose. So it gives me the option to send for this test person without ruining anything at my customers. So that was all of the email recipients. So we'll go back to our PowerPoint and open that. And then I'm just going through some bullets from the news in version 2.0, which we will release in the fall. In version 2.0, we will have we will be able to set up dimensions on templates. So you can have customer groups with one template and another customer group with another template. At the moment, the only way you can do something similar to this in document output is to use language templates. Send statements in fixed intervals. We want the system to be able to send statements in fixed intervals automatic to customers. We want it to send several invoices in the same email. So if you have several invoices on the same day and you want to send one email in the evening with all of the emails, that would be possible as well. Import templates in different languages. Currently we have templates in different languages, but you're only able to import one of them to a database. And we want you to be able to, in the English database, also to import like the German language or the Danish language as well. So you don't need to set all of that up from the bottom. Import templates from Continia Online. We wanted to import directly from Continia Online instead of having to have it on a product package. And we want a template for email recipients, so it's easier to set up on new customers the email addresses for the different groups of recipients. That's all for version 2.0, so now back to Thomas.
Thank you, Sven. Now I will go to what have we seen on today's webinar. First, we went to the product package and installed the DLL files. Next, we imported objects and merged bottoms in the changed objects. Then we went to the page setup and setup wizard. We edited email templates, choose email recipients, and tested the email recipient. Then we're also looking at a couple of the new features in Document Output 2.0, and as Sven told you, we expect to release Document Output 2.0 in the fall of 2016.